I now call upon Deputy Brian Stanley. You have 5 minutes.
Thanks, Oscar Corley. Firstly, I want to thank Jonathan for bringing forward introducing this important PMB. The content is based on the proposed Education and Welfare Amendment Bill 2012. The bill itself is the product of long and thorough consultation with the relevant stakeholders. The purpose of the bill is to amend the Education and Welfare Bill 2000 in order to impose mandatory requirements, as I said earlier, on boards and managements of schools to adopt counter-bullying and preventative measures which are to be implemented by boards management. And having served on boards and managements, I know how important that is. The bill introduces a new section in which the onus of responsibility is placed upon the Board of Management and the elected officers of the board to adopt and implement an anti-bullying policy in every recognised school. And I would like to highlight the need to tackle, I want to use time tonight to highlight the need to tackle the whole issue of homophobic bullying. And in doing so, I just want to pay tribute to the group belong to, who are here tonight visiting us. And the group focused particularly on meeting the needs of young LGBT young people, that's lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender young people. So why do we need to focus on homophobic bullying? Homophobic bullying is one of the most common and widespread forms of bullying in Irish schools. According to Lynch and Lodge report, Equality and Power, that highlighted that, the United Nations World Report on Violence Against Children found that most bullying is sexual or gender-based, targeting girls or boys or those who don't fit into the perceived sexual and gender norms. Consequently, homophobic bullying impacts on all young people, but particularly LGBT young people. Dr. Stephen Minton, a psychologist at Anti-Bullying Centre of Trinity College Dublin, cites Canadian experts who state that the majority of bullying research fails to address sexual orientation, and although homophobia is a prominent feature of schoolyard bullying, it is also one of the most unchallenged forms of bullying. Minton says, in short, as a frequently observed form of prejudice-related bullying, it makes sense at every level to prioritise the addressing of homophobic bullying. Trinity College Anti-Bullying Centre found that 16% of all Irish second-level students were targets of bullying. But in the case of LGBT, much higher rates are experienced. In a major study funded by the HSE entitled Supporting LGBT Lives, it was discovered that 50% of LGBT young people experienced homophobic bullying. 40% were subjected to verbally threatened by fellow students. 25% were physically threatened by their peers. Most concerning is that 34% of young LGBT people heard homophobic comments from their teachers. That's a huge concern. So we must send out a loud and clear message here this evening. The homophobic bullying is wrong, that it will not be tolerated and it must be stopped. Urgent measures are needed to address homophobic bullying for 4 reasons. Homophobic bullying has been documented as one of the most pervasive forms of bullying in Irish schools. Lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender young people experience bullying at a much higher rate than other young people. And Irish research shows that homophobic bullying is a significant casual factor in self-harm, suicide and in other mental health difficulties among LGBT young people. And lastly, significant numbers of Irish teachers have reported that they find homophobia far more difficult to address than other forms of bullying. So the Sinn Féin bill should receive cross-party support. It's in line with government policy, in line with government thinking. And in the programme for government 2011, the government committed to encourage schools to develop anti-bullying policies and particularly strategies to combat homophobic bullying and to support students. This was reiterated by Minister Rory Quinn when he announced in May 2011 the establishment of a working group comprised of all relevant sections of his department, along with NGOs involved in this area and the education partners, to help to draft the roadmap towards the elimination of homophobic bullying in our schools. So, Minister, I'm sure we all want to do the right thing You know, and I suppose there is, you know, people are concerned about this. Your government are concerned about it. We're concerned about it. But we are 2 years into the term, and as my colleague said earlier on, you know, if the government aren't bringing forward legislation, you know, we would urge you, if you're not don't intend doing that very soon, we would urge you to bring forward this piece of legislation. I've had cases in my own constituency, you know, where young people are refusing to return to school. I have one girl in the Mount Rat area who's refusing to return to secondary school because of serious bullying. It's a serious issue. Her life has been turned upside down. The life of her family has been turned upside down. It's having a serious impact on her, you know, at a critical stage in her life, because she's, you know, 14 years of age. She's at a very, very important stage in her development, and at a very, very vulnerable stage. So we're urging you here tonight, Minister, and urging government deputies, and appealing to you to support the Sinn Féin PMB. Thanks.
Thank you, Deputy. Now I call